Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to be speaking about the benefits of being bilingual and multilingual. So growing up, both my parents spoke Spanish, and it wasn't until kindergarten that I learned how to speak English. And when I was younger, I didn't really realize the benefits of learning two languages. I would just be focused on either just learning one or focusing on one language. Until I got older, I saw more of the importance. For 2 years, I was a receptionist at Wheaton Eye Care, which is in the heart of Wheaton, Maryland. And for that position, you had to be bilingual. You had to know another language, especially Spanish. In the heart of Wheaton, the second language that is a lot spoken is Spanish. So a lot of the patients, a lot of the customers that come in, they need someone to interact with them, to help them out. And so because of that, I started out as a part-time position, but then was later moved to being a full-time. As a full-time receptionist, I not only did my job of the duties of being a receptionist, but I also was translating for the doctor, and I was having real conversations with all the patients. After I found out that I was moving to Virginia Beach, the doctor really had a hard time trying to find someone that had Spanish as their second language. So I remember looking at a few resumes that were handed to her, and sometimes she would just have to say no because that was a requirement. Because of the fact that she couldn't find someone, and it took her a long time to finally find someone, they lost some customers. They lost a couple customers that were loyal to her. So the importance of being bilingual is divided into 3 groups. So you can have more job opportunities, you can have enormous health benefits, and you have social and culture advantages. And my example was that I spoke Spanish, but there's a lot of languages out there in the world that you can learn. There's French, there's Italian, there's Chinese, there's English. Some people that come from the other parts of the world, they have to learn English here. So there's just a lot of languages. I hope that at the end of this speech, you will be able to describe the 3 benefits of being bilingual and multilingual. So let's begin by sharing the first benefit. It's more job opportunities. So it's crazy to think, but you can actually have a higher income of being monolingual instead of being monolingual. Monolingual is when you speak just one language. So according to The Economist, for an American graduate, a second language could be worth an estimate up to $128,000 over 40 years. So that means that each year, someone that speaks a second language, or third language or fourth, can make $3,200 more per year. A report from the university estimates that Switzerland's multilingual heritage, they contribute about $50 billion a year to just the Swiss economy. So not only are you making more, you're bringing more to your economy as a nation, and as well as globally. Also, recent research has shown that young immigrants who have bilingual abilities, so English plus another native tongue, do better in school and careers at life. Careers at life because you make more income, you can get, housing, you can get cars, you can get, food. It's just extra income is always good. And then doing better at school. Later on, we're going to talk about how physically the health benefits are about bilingualism, and you can kind of see how it ties in with schooling as well. Second, you can be an ambassador of the company you work for. A lot of companies are global now. They're not just in one country, in one state, in one place. They're globally. They're interchanging money, interchanging thoughts. So you can travel around the world. You can do any type of government works. I was hearing an example that there was a lady who spoke, I believe it was English, out of a 400-mile radius. She was the only one that could speak that language fluently. So she was able to translate. And a lot of companies, they are willing to hire people who know 2 or more languages because that will give them the ability to communicate when they're trying to close deals, when they're trying to make sales. Also, you can become a private tutor. So a lot of tutors now, you can either get them online or you can, find an ad for them. But there are a lot of celebrities that actually find that being bilingual has its benefits. So they're willing to pay a lot of money to have their children or themselves be taught by a private tutor, especially because they want to keep off the public eye. Here, Angelina Jolie's children, they have their own tutor. She explains to one of the columns that her children, they got the option of picking different languages. She didn't just make their children pick one or make them, force them to learn one. They actually got to pick their own. So one child, they speak Cambodian. The other one speaks Vietnamese. And then the other ones learn French. Some is learning Russian. And the other one's learning German. And actually even one of them is learning Arabic and sign language. So she's making all her kids just learn a new language, and they each have a private tutor. Also, in the Siempre Mujer magazine, Jessica Alba says that she hired a Hispanic studies professor to teach her and her son because she comes from a Spanish heritage, so she wanted her child to learn that. Frank Smith, a contemporary psycholinguistic, once said, "One language sets you in a quarter for life. 2 languages opens every door along the way." So now let's move on to discussing the enormous health benefits of knowing more than one language. So it keeps your mind active, just like puzzles, just like these mind games that you play on your phone or you play on paper, you design crossword puzzles, all that. Learning another language helps your mind be active. So it also helps you improve your focus and your attention on performing certain skills. Believe it or not, it helps you with problem solving and multitasking and decision making. So problem solving, that goes back to school. You'll do better in school. You're using parts of your brain that just when you learn one language, you're not going to be able to use. As we see here, if you see at the multilingual brain out of an fMRI machine, there are parts of the brain that are not lighting up on someone who just speaks one language. Unlike with the people who speak more than one, there's certain areas that are lighting up more, so it's keeping the brain active. It also is showing that with their brain being active as well, they're able to learn names better. They're able to learn directions better. And even just remember the simplest things as shopping lists. Also, another benefit is that it prevents mental deterioration. So Alzheimer's is one of the biggest diseases that reach at a certain age where you just start to forget things. And so the best thing that they have found that those people who actually have learned another language, when they do get to an Alzheimer's age or the Alzheimer's is starting to catch up, they're actually older than those who just speak one language. So it slows down the process. It might not stop it, but it slows it down because you're helping your brain be active. It's like, if you're working your body, you're exercising, you're helping your body be healthy. So you're using your brain learning another language, you're using sides of your brain portions that are keeping it healthy from one day needing to, no memory loss, anything like that. And then finally, let's look at the final benefits of being bilingual and multilingual, social and cultural advantages. You're able to communicate with different cultures. You can go to other parts of the country and you're able to not just have, hello, hi, yes or no questions. You're able to communicate, learn about their heritage, learn about their ancestors. When you travel, you get to enjoy, you get to immerse and have an authentic experience with everyone there. You don't get to offend people. Sometimes, in some countries, one word is one thing, and in our country, one word is another. So now you'll be able to know, okay, in this country, saying this word won't be offensive, or in this country, this word is not offensive. So it helps in that. It also helps you if you're traveling for the first time or you're on vacation. You get to rent local apartments, or you get to bargain, or you get to order the right food, and you get to ask for directions if you were to get lost, which is very important. Especially you don't want to be lost in a foreign country, and knowing another language helps with that. Also, if your family were to speak another language, you'll be able to communicate with them. So there's a lot of couples that come from many family backgrounds. And so when they have children, it's also nice for them to either learn the different languages from the other parent, or to just teach a whole new language. And at family gatherings, when your child is able to speak to your family members, to their elders, and have good conversations and real conversations with them. Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. So let's summarize. Speaking more than one language has its benefits in a global level. People who are bilingual or multilingual have higher paying jobs and receive raises, exercise their brain to slow down dementia, and overall connect with others of different languages. So always remember that learning more than one language creates many job opportunities, enormous health benefits, and the ability to have social and cultural advantages. Just like in my story, is your resume the one that is going to be passed up because of a language barrier? If you know another language, I encourage you to use it daily. And if you don't know another language, then I encourage you to learn a new one. Thank you.